I had no idea that single message would end my career of over 20 years. The words were sterile, cold. Your position has been eliminated effective immediately. No warning, no conversation, just done. I stared at the screen, blinking. My heart dropped into my stomach. I scrolled back up thinking maybe I read it wrong. Maybe it was a mistake, but it wasn't. I sat frozen, hands still on the keyboard. My nameplate, a framed picture of my kids, and the yellow coffee mug that said Boss Lady all stared back at me like props in a cruel joke. For a few minutes I didn't move. I didn't cry. I didn't even breathe right. I just sat there in that gray cubicle under the fluorescent lights with everything I thought I was. Everything I had worked for disappearing in one unreadable impersonal paragraph. The hardest part wasn't losing the job, it was losing who I thought I was. I'd spent over 2 decades in that building. I knew where every stapler lived who cried in the break room last Christmas, which elevator skipped the 3rd floor. I showed up early, stayed late, mentored the interns, never took a sick day unless someone was bleeding. And just like that, I was disposable. Just another name on a spreadsheet someone in HR had to delete. Telling my family was harder than I expected. I waited until after dinner. My husband was washing dishes, our daughter scrolling her phone on the couch. I cleared my throat and said, "So, something happened today." They listened. They were supportive. At least they tried to be. But I could see the worry in my husband's eyes, the way he paused just a little too long, the way our daughter asked, so like, "What are you going to do now?" as if I'd already failed. I didn't have an answer. For days I couldn't sleep. I'd wake up at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling fan, wondering if this was all I had left. Was I too old to start over? Would anyone want someone like me in this new world of Zoomers and TikToks and 6-second attention spans? The worst part was the silence. When you go from emails and meetings and noise all day to nothing but the hum of your fridge, you start to question your worth. You wonder if your name even means anything outside your company badge. Then came the shame. Not just from losing my income, but from how invisible I suddenly felt. I was no longer the reliable one or the manager everyone went to. I was just unemployed. I hated that word. It made me feel broken, like something someone else had to fix. Friends would reach out, I heard the news. "I'm so sorry." Then silence, as if job loss were contagious. I didn't know how to be still. I didn't know how to be me without that job. One morning, about 2 weeks after the layoff, I was sitting in my pajamas, still clutching my coffee at noon. I hadn't brushed my hair. My inbox was full of rejection emails. "We've moved forward with another candidate. We appreciate your interest. We'll keep your resume on file." I slammed the laptop shut and let out a sob that I didn't even see coming. It was deep, guttural, like something was breaking open inside me. And in that messy, mascara-streaked moment, I realized something. Nobody was coming to save me. No boss, no company, no magical recruiter. If I wanted to climb out of this, I'd have to find the rope and pull myself up. That day, I pulled out a blank notebook and wrote one question at the top. What would I do if I had nothing to lose? Because honestly, I didn't. The worst had already happened. And that question changed everything. I started writing. Not resumes, not cover letters, but stories. My stories. Little pieces of life that I had buried beneath years of meetings and metrics. Funny moments, painful memories, lessons I wished I'd learned sooner. I posted one online. Just for fun. Just to feel something. I didn't know it then, but that one act would lead me down a path I never expected. A path that didn't just change my career, it changed who I am. I didn't have a plan, I just had a feeling. A small voice in the back of my mind whispered, "You're not done yet." So I followed that voice even though I had no idea where it would take me. After posting that first little story online, something strange happened. Someone commented. Just one person. She wrote, "Thank you. I needed this today." That was it. Simple. But it felt like a lifeline. Like I wasn't just shouting into the void anymore. Someone out there had heard me. So I posted another one. And another. They weren't perfect. My lighting was bad. My voice cracked sometimes. I didn't know how to edit a video or add music or tag anything. But I was honest. I showed up as I was mid-40s, makeup-free, some days messy kitchen in the background. And to my surprise, people stayed. They didn't just stay, they responded. They shared their own stories, their own layoffs, their own divorces, health scares, dreams put on pause. It was like I had cracked open a space for us women over 40 who were tired of being overlooked, tired of being told it was too late to begin again. At first, I thought I had to be like the other influencers. You know, the ones perfect hair, perfect homes, perfect lives. I tried mimicking them. I watched tutorials. I bought a ring light. I even rehearsed my lines. But it didn't feel right. The real turning point came when I posted a video of me sitting on the floor in my pajamas, talking about how scared I was to not have health insurance. I cried a little. I didn't edit out the shaky breath. I almost didn't upload it. That video got 5 times more views than anything I'd done before. It hit me people weren't looking for perfection, they were looking for truth. So I stopped pretending. I started showing up exactly as I was. I talked about how weird it felt applying to jobs that asked for dynamic 25-year-olds. I shared what it was like going grocery shopping with coupons again. I even posted a video about my failed attempt to start a baking side hustle that ended with banana bread glued to the pan. Every post, every video felt like peeling back a layer of armor I didn't know I was still wearing. Slowly, I found my rhythm. I began uploading twice a week. Mondays were for motivation for midlife, and Thursdays were for throwback life lessons. I made a little corner in my bedroom, my filming space, just a 15-inch tripod, a thrifted chair, and some soft lighting I bought on sale. The production wasn't fancy, but the message was real. People started subscribing, commenting, sharing my posts with their sisters, their moms, their coworkers. I got DMs that said, "You remind me of my mom. You give me hope. You made me feel seen." It wasn't just content anymore. It was connection. One day I got an email from a woman named Carla. She wrote, "I've been thinking about ending my life, but I found your videos, and something about the way you speak. It made me pause. Just for today, I decided to stay." I sat there staring at the screen, crying. That message changed me. It reminded me that this messy, unexpected path wasn't just about me. It was about all of us who had ever felt forgotten, who had been told our best years were behind us, who had quietly wondered if we still mattered. Spoiler alert, we do. As my channel grew, I began learning. I watched tutorials on editing. I figured out how to use hashtags. I even opened a Patreon, and 5 women signed up that first week. 5 women who believed in me enough to pay for my words. I wasn't rich, I wasn't viral, but I was alive in a way I hadn't felt in years. And most importantly, I was in control. No boss, no gatekeeper. Just me, my story, and a camera. I didn't know if this would ever be a full-time thing. I didn't know if I'd make enough to pay the bills. But I knew one thing for sure: I had found my voice again. And this time I wasn't letting anyone take it from me. If you had told me 2 years ago that I'd be sitting at home recording videos in my bedroom and sharing stories with thousands of strangers online, I would have laughed. Not a polite giggle. I mean, a full-blown tears down my face, "Are you kidding me?" kind of laugh. But here I am. I no longer wear business suits. My commute is about 12 steps from the kitchen, and instead of spreadsheets, I track comments and content calendars. It's not glamorous. Some days I film 3 takes before lunch, then spend the afternoon figuring out how to edit my blooper reel into something usable. But I'm no longer chasing someone else's definition of success. I'm building my own. Financially, I'm not where I was. Yet. But I'm making income from multiple streams, sponsored content, affiliate links, a small but growing Patreon, and even a few coaching sessions with women who want to share their stories too. Is it enough to retire early? No. But it's enough to breathe, to pay the bills, to know I don't need to beg for a seat at a table I never truly fit at. More than money, what I've gained is something I didn't even realize I had lost: freedom. Freedom to speak my truth. To make mistakes without fear of being called into HR. To take a walk in the middle of the day just because the sun is out and I need the fresh air. Freedom to be me. But let me be clear, it's not always easy. There are still days I doubt myself. There are moments when I see a shiny influencer with 1 million followers and think, who am I kidding? I'm just a middle-aged woman with a phone and a story. There are times when the numbers drop, the views slow, the algorithm seems to forget I exist. I've cried over videos that flopped and celebrated ones that surprised me. But I've learned not to measure my worth by analytics, because every view is a person. Every comment is a heartbeat. Every thank you is proof that I'm making a difference, even if it's just one soul at a time. And really, isn't that the point? Something shifted in me the day I stopped waiting for validation. I used to need approval, a title, a salary, a quarterly review that told me I was meeting expectations. Now I define my own success. Success is waking up excited to create. Success is hearing my daughter say, "Mom, your video popped up on my friend's feed." Success is getting an email from someone in Iowa or Georgia or Oregon who says, "You helped me feel less alone." Success isn't the car I drive or the letters after my name. It's the impact I leave when I'm brave enough to be real. And maybe that's the message I want to leave you with today. If you're watching this and you've lost your job, your confidence, or even your sense of identity, let me tell you something. You are not done. You are not too old. You are not too late. And you are not invisible. You still have time to reinvent, to rediscover, to rise. The world needs your voice, your story, your perspective, especially now, especially you. So what comes next for me? I'm working on a podcast. I'm writing a book. I've even started mentoring women over 40 who want to step into the digital space without pretending to be something they're not. But more than anything, I'm staying present. I'm holding space for myself and others to evolve, to shift, to soften, to shine. Because the truth is what felt like the end of everything. It was just the beginning. If you've made it this far, thank you. Truly. I want to invite you to do 3 things before you go. Like this video if it made you feel something, a spark, a tug, a breath of relief. Leave a comment and share your own turning point. You never know who it might help. Subscribe if you want to be part of a space where truth is more powerful than Polish, and where your second act might just be your best one yet. This isn't just a channel, it's a community, and I'm so honored to have you in it.